Fuck it.
All right, we're live on YouTube. Alan and Katarski, episode 186. Alan Spada alongside Tom Katarski, Mr. Katarski up there in Orange County, New York. Myself here in Austin, Texas. Nice show to get back into it. We're still trying to get some normalcy in sports. We're still waiting for baseball starting in a couple of weeks, basketball at the end of the month. But obviously, the biggest news is the Pat Mahomes contract, 10 years, $503 million, if possible. 477 million guaranteed. I crunched some numbers before the show, but this is the best quarterback in the game. They didn't really have to pay him. They didn't have to pay him that much, but they want to do right by him. They understand his value. I think the Chiefs understand that the cap is going to continue to go up every year. So it's within their numbers. They're going to be strapped tight towards the back end of that contract, but they can restructure. Not much guaranteed. Signing money in there. I think if my numbers are correct, there's only about $19 million in bonus money. So when those cap hits get really high, they can lose some of that money. That roster signing bonus money to clear up some cap space. But yeah, he's the best. I think we said before the air when we got on, if you had to start your franchise right now, you have the number one pick. He's the guy you're taking.
Yeah, I mean, is he worth $500 million? I can't say. Well, that'll be judged whether or not he wins more Super Bowls. If he wins a couple more, yeah, for sure. If he doesn't, then he wasn't. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if you ask any football fan that has half a brain and isn't prejudiced, and you ask them to pick one player, right? Not Chiefs haters or. You ask, you could have one player to start your franchise. One, it's going to be Pat Mahomes. And if they say anybody else, they just don't know football because it just doesn't make sense for you to pick anybody else. Now you want to go earlier, like you want to give me, oh, well, Tom Brady at 25. Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. That's fair. But I'm talking right now, everybody at their current ages, one quarterback or one player, it is Pat Mahomes. And it's really, to be honest, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like there's not even another guy where you say, you know what, it's Pat Mahomes, but this guy might be almost as good. Like, no, like there's not. There's just not.
Yeah. I mean, all the throws that he can make any throw on the field. I mean, to me, his coming out party, even though a lot of people knew about him, and obviously he was drafted 10th overall by Kansas City, sat behind Alex Smith for a year, and then he took over the rank 18 and won the MVP. But that Monday night game, and even though they lost that game, those are those games where it's like, okay, you don't care who lost that game. You don't even remember. I mean, most people, if you watch that game, you would just assume that they won that game, or you're thinking about, the 2008 home run derby. You're not going to remember that. I think it was Morneau won it, but
Morneau beat
Josh Hamilton. Yeah. Josh Hamilton had the big show.
Hamilton won the home run derby. I don't even want to hear Morneau's name.
But that was that kind of game. I mean, making 60, 70-yard throws on the run, his body in his. I mean,
yeah, I remember.
And that was what Andy Reid said one day. I was listening to NFL radio on one day, and he said, "What's the best thing that having Pat Mahomes?" He said he can make every throw on the field from anywhere on the field.
Yeah, and you know what the crazy part is? Like you hear that about every draft prospect, not every draft prospect, but you hear that about like a lot of draft prospects, right? Like the arm strength. Even let's just use Josh Allen for example. Big, strong kid, big arm. He can make every throw, right? It's everybody's favorite phrase. He can make every throw on the field. You make every throw on the field. Like Pat Mahomes, like literally can make every throw on the field. And the crazy part is like when you hear people like Tyreek Hill, who people call the cheetah, who ran track in college, who's arguably the fastest man in the NFL. If not the fastest, he's definitely top 3. When he tells you, listen, man, I can't outrun him. Like that he like it's that's just the level he's at. And
yeah,
if you're gonna give somebody the bag, give it to Pat. He's already won a Super Bowl, right? He's not Dak Prescott. He's already won an MVP and and threw 50 touchdowns, which has only been done 3 times in history by Tom Brady, Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer, Pat Mahomes, likely Hall of Famer. So he's checked the boxes on 2 accolades in terms of MVP, right? Single season personal award, team award, leading your team to a Super Bowl. And what else do you need to see from him? I mean, he's proven he could do whatever you ask for him. And last year, you could point to his stats; they were down. I know. I had him on my fantasy team.
He's injured though. He missed some
That's what I'm
time.
saying. He was
Tyreek
injured.
Hill then was injured.
Even when he was back, he was never right. But my point is that I had him on my fantasy team, and his bad games, besides 1 or 2, were people's good games, and his good games were it didn't matter what the rest of your team did. You know what I mean? Like, that's how good he can be.
And I think the thing that you have to look at the end of the day, they won the Super Bowl. Who cares about the stats, right?
And,
Dak Prescott
and
led
he's
the
humble.
NFL. Dak Prescott and Jameis Winston were 1 and 2 in passing yards in the NFL last year, and neither of them made the playoffs.
Yeah,
Pat Mahomes showed up when he needed to show up. You know, in their first game, down 24-0 to Houston at home, no less.
Look,
throws an interception, a bad interception. They fumble a kickoff. They do all these things, and you see him on at 23. At that point, he's 23 years old. He's on, well, 24. He's on the sideline. Don't worry, we got it. I mean, 24-0. Meanwhile, rewind a year before, I see Jared Goff.
Yeah, I was just gonna make that
was
reference.
within a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and he
didn't want no part of it.
Like they're down 24-0. You're within a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
He wanted no part of it.
Game, and Pat calmed everybody down, riled the troop. Dude, 55 unanswered points. And yeah, we could look at Bill O'Brien. Yeah, we could, but 55 unanswered points, and goes into Tennessee, and they were hot. They were rumbling, made that big running touchdown, did what he needs to do. Down in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl, makes a couple of big plays, brings them back from down 10. He's the real deal. They're set, and that's the other thing we're looking at. Demarcus Robinson, a receiver, McCole Hardman, guys that are on their rookie deals, guys that they've gotten steals. Tyreek Hill is a 5th-round draft pick. Travis Kelce's a 5th-round draft pick. Like, these are the teams, and we talked about it before. You got Pittsburgh, you got Baltimore, you got Kansas City. You got New England. These are teams that they draft well, no matter where they draft. They get good players. They get value. They find players to fit their scheme. And now they just drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the end of the first round, a young running back that they can give the ball to. I mean, last year it was Damian Williams. It was LaShawn McCoy. It was who was the other Williams? There's 2 Williams. It was Damian Williams.
Was it Darren Williams? It was
Darren Williams, Damian Williams,
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy. I mean, I even think that Spencer Ware show up a couple of games. I mean,
yeah, he was. I know he was activated. Yeah.
And they are able to draft the young core that they need and make it happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, we can go to Bill, and this is the year that we're looking at it right now, right? We get to 2020. Hopefully we have a football season. But the big story, a lot of big stories. Now Bill leaving Tom Brady. Everybody wants to know, is it Bill? Is it Tom? Is it Bill? Is it Tom? Now we're going to see, is it Bill or is it Tom? Now he's got Cam Newton. We'll talk about it in a bit. But my point is, I mean, give me who's the second best coach in the NFL? I could go with Andy Reid. Wins everywhere he goes, wins after the bye weeks, goes to playoffs, goes to shifts, has been to Super Bowls. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find me a better coach than Andy Reid. And I know you're not agree with me when I say this here, but if I'll still go Andy Reid. But the guy who would have my vote for maybe second would have to be Pete Carroll.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Seattle.
saying. There's really only
that's it. John Harbaugh, great coach, top 5 for sure. Same thing with Mike Tomlin. But I mean, consistency with Carroll to always go to the playoffs. But Andy Reid, I mean, so you got the best quarterback, one of the best coaches in NFL history. You got one of the best. Well, in your opinion, I think the best tight end in the league.
I think he's also probably the best. And if he's not the best because everybody loves Sean McVay, he was the flavor of the month. Andy Reid is undoubtedly, in my opinion, the best offensive head coach. Even if you don't want to put him on the Belichick, there is no one that coaches offense as well as Andy Reid. No one. So, yeah, I mean, it helps that when you have a guy that can draw up plays, and when you're down 24, like you said, and you got a quarterback that can execute that game plan, it's a pretty dangerous combination.
Yeah, it's incredible. So we'll see what, I mean, me, I love to crunch numbers and stats, and the top 5 paid quarterbacks right now. Obviously, people are going to look at Pat Mahomes and say, "Oh man, he's going to eat up their cap. They're not going to be able to do anything." You know, we're looking now. The next 4 seasons, I'm looking at the next 4 seasons, most money due. We'll see where Dak Prescott ends up if he gets a deal. But you got right now Matt Ryan, who signed a 5-year, $150 million deal. That was big a couple years ago. His cap hit this year is 18. Well, pretty much 19. 2021, it's $41 million. 2022, it's $42 million. 2023, $36.6 million. So Matt Ryan, number 1 in cap hits for the next 4 years at 143 million. Number 2, Russell Wilson, 31, 32, 37, 39 respectively, 139 million guaranteed. Then we'll go over to Carson Wentz, 0 playoff wins. Is yet to play, to get them all the way to where they need to go. He was injured the first 2 years. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. Then they lost last year with the drop pass by Alshon Jeffrey. And then this year he gets hurt in the game against Seattle. He's at $100.8 million over the next 4 seasons. Aaron Rodgers, they already drafted his replacement. Next 4 years, he's due 106.2 cap hit. Pat Mahomes, 5th on this list, Tom, $104 million over the next 4 seasons. 5.3 million caps hit this season, 24 million next year, 31 million in 2022, and then 42.4 million in 2023. So in the next 4 years, or even the next 3 years, they are still have the financial flexibility to get the players that they need. They're pretty much set on offense. You maybe want to get a guy on defense. They gave up their first round pick to get Frank Clark. They signed the Honey Badger to a nice little deal. They've made moves. They've done what they needed to do. That big trade with Washington when they got the nickelback Fuller back, they are building and getting themselves in a position to go on a nice little 3 to 4 year run.
I just wonder, and maybe 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, if Andy Reid wins another Super Bowl or 2, right? Obviously the contract's worth it, but how long does Andy Reid keep coaching? He's not young, and does he keep coaching? Maybe he does. There's some guys that are lifers and maybe he is, but the only thing that can possibly go wrong here is they don't win with this big deal, or he gets hurt. But if he gets hurt, well, then the $477 million guarantee looks bad. But the contract itself might not be bad, but the guaranteed money.
But whenever I hear that, right? Oh, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But wait, who was the last quarterback to get hurt on a big deal?
Alex Smith.
Okay, but he was already in his 30s, past his prime. Maybe you can look to Matt, who's been banged up a little bit. But just for your record, Pete Carroll, 68 years old. He'll be 69 on September 15th, right? So Pete might be the oldest coach in the league.
He is the oldest coach. You don't even have to look it up, but he is the oldest coach.
Bill Belichick is
68. Like a year. Yeah.
He's 68. Andy Reid is 62.
So, yeah,
Andy Reid ain't going anywhere. He's got to lose some weight till he could be all right, but he ain't going anywhere.
I'm not saying he is, but you never know. People have different. Hey, some players retire at 30. Some players retire at 40. It's different. Maybe it depends what's running through your veins. Like, how long do you want to do this? Maybe he wants to do it till the wheels fall off. Hey, he's got his quarterback for the next 10 years. And if he wins another Super Bowl or 2, he's not going anywhere. Like, you can't fire a coach that wins. Just ask Tom Coughlin, who even after the years of struggling year after year, how many years did that second Super Bowl buy him? It bought him years, because it is tough to. And that was with a team that, to no fault of his own, that they didn't really protect Eli. They didn't really go out and get the right pieces to make it successful. He was sabotaged, but that doesn't look like that's what's going to be happening in KC. And let's not look, I know you love Eli, but he's not Pat Mahomes. He can't do it like Pat Mahomes could do it. And that's not a knock. There's very few humans. Very few humans on the planet that can be.
The thing you got to look at with Pat Mahomes is only 24 years old right now. And in a 10-year deal, he'll still be 35 years old. When the deal is up. Rodgers is going to be 37 in December, and he's still got 4 years left on his deal.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly,
Brees is still out there in the 40s. So is
quarterbacks quarterbacks can play till they. I'm not even worried about that part of it, because quarterbacks, they don't even get touched. They barely get hit. You're right. They can play till their early 40s. We've seen it. Drew Brees still elite. Tom Brady was still elite. These guys were still elite. So The age is definitely. I mean, beside if Peyton Manning didn't break his neck 9 times, he was still elite. So quarterbacks can definitely play into their late 30s, early 40s. No problem with the 10 years there. It just like anything. It just comes down to winning. You win, it's justified.
Speaking of another team that wins, they're in the playoffs every year for the last 20 years. They've been in the thorn on your side. They've been anything you could think of to you, Tom Carson. The New England Patriots have signed Cam Newton to a league minimum. Cam's been out there working out, and I'm always going to be vocalized about, hey, I don't care. You're an NFL athlete. You're supposed to look like that. You're supposed to be in the gym working out. You're supposed to look good on 7-on-7s or even drills. But Cam Newton, 2015 MVP, 50 touchdowns, Super Bowl. Had a rough moment in the Super Bowl, but still took the team to Super Bowl with pretty much nobody. Nobody. Banged up. What are your expectations for Cam Newton in New England if we have a season? Again, everything is caveated by if we have an NFL season.
It's very tough for me to say because I'm not one of those Cam haters that are like, oh, he's so immature that he's mad at the press conferences. Yeah, like I would be too. He doesn't have to smile.
Cam, 31 years old, FYI, 31.
My whole thing is, can Cam still run? Will they allow him to run? I don't think he's a pure pocket passer. I don't think he's ever been a pure pocket passer. He's just been a gifted athlete in the sense that he's not only fast and athletic. I mean, he was built like pardon my French, a brick shithouse. I mean, he is 6'5", jacked, and he was running you over. So if Cam could be even just a fraction of that, Cam's going to be just fine. Because Cam is a dynamic player, and I know he gets bad press and yada yada, and people don't like Cam, and he definitely doesn't get the calls that some quarterbacks do. That's a topic for another day. But I think if Cam Newton plays to 75% of his Super Bowl year potential, Patriots are going to win the division, and they're going to be just fine.
So right now, you'll put the Patriots above the Buffalo Bills to win the AFC East.
Of course. Until I see different, no, it's not even a knock on Buffalo.
I always tell you the same thing. I'm going to bet against them when they lose.
Yeah, when they lose, because I've always said that Bill was the engine. Tom was nice, but Bill, in my opinion, was the engine. I could be wrong, and we'll find out. But
we wouldn't have a Patriots conversation without talking about cheating, right? Patriots have been fined $1 million.
$1.1,
a third-round draft pick.
$1.1
million. It was a third-round draft pick for the whole thing where they were in Cincinnati filming the sidelines. They said they were just doing their homework, but they were kind of filming the sidelines, getting chatter. And you just say, man, you're playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who pretty much went 1-15, had the number one pick, and you still need to go out there and do the things that they're doing. I mean, you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 19 times, shame on Roger Goodell and everybody else that's making this happen. If they really want to make a stand, they would suspend Belichick for a year or do something. I mean, they suspended Sean Payton for a year for Bountygate, and that had it had an impact on the field, but not like the constant cheating with videotapes and deflated balls and stuff like that, and nothing ever happens.
Look, they're the Patriots. They get away with murder.
But why do you think that is? I mean, we always say this and we have this conversation, but why do you think they get away with what other teams don't get away with?
Well, hey, other teams don't do it, right? Like, have you no, honestly, have you heard of other teams doing what they do? Deflated footballs and Spygate, and maybe they do, but the Patriots seem to get caught a lot, and they seem to cheat a lot. And look, I don't know if they even have to do all that. It's kind of like the Yankees, right? There's a story out there that the Yankees may have also been sign stealing, and it's been kind of swept under the rug because, hey, look, let's face it. I love the Yankees, but they're the Yankees. They're very important to Major League Baseball. They're the Yankees. And even though everybody says Cowboys are America's team, America's new team is the New England Patriots. Okay. So that's why I think they get away with it, because if I'm correct, and I'm pretty sure I am, there's some sort of verbiage No, I swear to God, in the actual first suspension of, or not the first suspension, the first Spygate, that if Bill Belichick was ever found incriminating or something to do with cheating, if he was incriminated for cheating or anything to do like that, that he would be banned from the NFL. I'll have to look up the article, but I remember hearing it on the radio, and that's why essentially Tom Brady had to fall on the sword during Deflategate, and that's where the relationship started deteriorating because they couldn't lose Bill. So when there's smoke, there's fire. We always say about Ben Roethlisberger. All right, he got accused of sexual assault. Okay, first time, could be a mark, could be a target. We know who Big Ben is. Then somebody else, another girl says the same thing, and you got your bodyguard outside a bathroom so that somebody else can't go in and get their friend. To me, you're raping. Okay, you're doing something you're not supposed to. People are just not they're just doing things that they're not supposed to.
So let's get into this, Tom. Right now, we're looking at the Patriots schedule week 1. Miami reloaded. They're retooled. We're going to give them a win.
No, of course. If two is playing, what is Bill Belichick against rookies? Like 9,000-0?
So we got them Patriots 1-0. They got to go to Seattle Sunday Night Football.
Tough place to play. Tough place. I'll give Seattle the win there.
All right, so 1-1. Las Vegas.
Stop. Next.
At home.
Stop.
So 2-1 at Kansas City.
It's tough. Tough. Kansas City's got to win that game because that's the litmus test games early in the season. That should be Sunday night game, by the way. But go ahead.
Yeah. So you're going to give the game to who? Kansas City?
I'm going to give the game Kansas City. Yeah.
So now you got them at 2-2. Week 5, Denver.
All right, gets New England.
Hey, listen. Timeout. Denver.
Stop.
You got Jerry Jeudy.
Stop.
You got Cortland Sutton.
Stop.
You got Noah Fant. You got the kid that they got from Night Kamler or something like that. Then you got Melvin Gordon. You got Philip Lindsay.
Cool.
Still got Von Miller and those boys on defense.
Right.
And we know what Von Miller does to Cam Newton.
Did you learn something I didn't? Is John Elway playing for them, or is he just still the GM? Because if number 7's not lacing them up, I don't care if it's Drew Lock or Drew Brees. Well, I do care if it's Drew Brees, but no, stop. Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus
3-2 going into the bye week at 3-2. Now you got San Francisco, Jimmy G versus Cam.
That's a win. You think Bill Belichick's going to lose to Jimmy G?
4-2.
That game is circled. Bill Belichick is doing push-ups right now for that game.
So 4-2 right now at Buffalo. Tough place to play. They always struggle in Buffalo.
What day is that? November 1st? Still warming up. Still warm enough.
I'm going to give the game to Buffalo.
I could give the game to Buffalo. Still warm enough though in November, even in Buffalo. I'm giving it to New England.
So 5-2. The Jets 6-2. Baltimore. Well, at New York, the Jets and Buffalo, they always play that one game against them. If one blowout, then there's a tight one.
Yeah, but Adam Gase is the head coach, so that doesn't matter. Baltimore.
We got them at 5-2. Baltimore. Sunday night football.
5-2 with a bye. Okay. No, 6-2. They're 6-2. Right. We got them at 6-2. You have them at 5 and.
I have them at 6-2. I'm sorry. So we have them losing to Seattle and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Maybe Buffalo. I'm giving the game to Buffalo. You're giving it to.
So then I got them at 6-2. You got them at what? 5-3.
5-3.
Okay. All right.
I got them losing to Baltimore, so that's 5-4 for me.
They're beating Baltimore, revenge game.
So 6-3 for you, 5-4 for me.
7-2. 7-2 for me. 7-2.
Excuse me, yeah. And I got them at 5-4. I got them beating Houston, Arizona. The next 3, I got them winning. So they're at 8-4.
I have them losing to Arizona.
So I have 8-4, and you have 9-3.
Yep.
Last 4 at the Rams. I got them winning that game.
Yeah, they win that game.
Ramsey. So I got 9-4. You got 10-3.
Yep.
Miami. At Miami, I'm giving that to Miami. You always know late in the season they struggle.
They always do. But my only problem here is it's Tua, and he doesn't lose to rookies.
Yeah, but you never know. At that point, they might put Fitzpatrick out there in case Tua gets hurt or something. I got Miami. I'm gonna give it 9-5.
I'm gonna give it to Miami too. I'm gonna give it to Miami too, just because you're right. Late in the year, they always seem to beat them.
So I got 9-5. You got 10-4. Buffalo, I already gave Buffalo a win, so I'm going to give New England this one. So that makes them 10-5. And then the Jets to end the season. I'm gonna go the New York Jets, 10-6 for New England Patriots in my book.
Yeah, I think I got the 12-4 or something. I just don't
No,
see.
you have them losing to Arizona, Miami. We agreed on Kansas City and Seattle, so that's 4.
Yeah, that's it.
So you have them sweeping Buffalo and the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 12-4, 10-6. Okay, we'll tuck that away for a little bit.
Could be wrong, but you know what? I just don't. You know, they're just until I see it. If I'll tell you what, if Cam is Cam, I might be lowballing them.
You think that they'll run a lot of packages with him running the football?
Do I
remember?
think?
I mean, people, you gotta have N'Keal Harry, who people liked out of college. You're gonna get a second year of Mohamed Sanu. Still got Edelman. They drafted like 6 tight ends. So they're gonna have that. Sony Michel's still a nice little running back. They'll still have James White, so they'll mix and match and do their little thing there.
I want to know, is Cam going to start? Because there's a lot of NFL execs that I've read. They love what's his face.
Stidham, Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah. They think he's going to be the starter. So
listen, whoever starts for them, with Bill and McDaniels, the guy who's starting is going to be the best one that performed, the best one that grasped the playbook, the best one's going to give them the best chance to win. So whoever's out there, you got to assume.
I just don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't think it really matters that much.
Still got Gilmore on defense to lock down whoever they're going up against. Yeah. All right. So I got 10-6. I'll write that down. And you have 12-4. And this is what? July. I don't even know what day it is anymore. July 8th. Any more football? Another point, going back to Andy Reid. I mean, yeah, he's there for life. You look at the coaches that have won Super Bowls after Coughlin, right? You're going to go John Harbaugh, still the coach. Pete Carroll, still the coach. Bill Belichick, still the coach. The only difference is the coach in Denver. There's a different coach in Denver. Who won that Super Bowl? Was it John Fox?
John Fox won the Super Bowl. Oh, wait, when?
In 15. Who won that Super Bowl?
Was it Kubiak or was it Fox?
That's a good question. We have to look that up. And then in 2016, New England wins again. Bill Belichick's still the coach. Doug Peterson wins the year after. He's the coach. And then Belichick again.
Yeah.
And then Reid. So, I mean, the last 10 years, if you win a Super Bowl, you have your job pretty much for 7, 8 to 10 years if you win a Super Bowl. And there's no reason to get rid of Andy Reid. So just food for thought. Baseball.
Here's the thing. Last thing I was going to say is, if you're good, like you always say, if you're going to get rid of Andy Reid, right? Who are you replacing with it? Like you have to have someone that is more competent. It was Gary Kubiak that won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But who are you replacing Andy Reid with? Eric Bieniemy?
No.
He's Andy Reid light, right? Like he's essentially a clone.
I mean, no, you can't. I mean, if you want to, right at that point, I mean, if Andy Reid was stepping down, say if they went
if he was stepping down, yeah, no, if he was stepping down for sure. I'm saying if they decided, hey, we're going in a different direction, well, you have to have a better option in mind, and there isn't much. Unless within the next few years, the college
that could change. We just need to figure out who is the who's coming up the pike. But again, you can't go on 25 years of that much success.
Right, exactly.
Baseball, a lot of guys opting out of this baseball season. Season starts July 23rd. I know that by heart now. It's the day of my daughter's first birthday. She's gonna be 1. Excited about that. So the Yankees play the Nationals. Hopefully Garrett Cole and Matt Scherzer both looked good on their kind of like inter squad games. I watched a little bit of that, but baseball's coming back. They finally figured it out. 60 games. A bunch of players are sitting out. Freddie Freeman is sitting out, a guy that you like a lot. Nick Markakis, David Price. A lot of guys are starting to opt out. There's a chance that Mike Trout might not even play. Felix Hernandez.
Felix Hernandez.
Then you're looking at possibly Mike Trout, who's got a baby on the way, so he wants to be, very careful with getting his wife. Although people need to know, because if you don't know, my wife's a nurse practitioner, works in OBGYN. You cannot pass coronavirus through the placenta to the baby. You just can't. It won't go. But still,
But
you
still,
don't
you
want the
still
wife
want
to
you
be
don't
sick, and
right.
you
You
don't
still want to keep your
you don't want to have any
families
extra headache if you don't need it.
right. Like Mike Trout's going to be okay financially. He's already okay financially, and if he's got a baby on the way, even if it can't be passed, like you said, from mother to daughter, you still don't. You want to get rid of as many risks and variables as possible.
Here's the thing, though. We talked last time we were on who's got a legit chance to win something like this, right? Everything I'm reading online and listening to, everybody says teams with pitching, right? Hitters are going to take a while to get in. They're going to take a while to get adjusted, the curveballs, all that. But hey, I'm also very keen to watching baseball the last 20 something years. And I know pitchers in spring training and the beginning of the season, they get lit up too. They're just trying to locate, they're trying to do what they need to do. But a team like the Angels, where you're going to get Ohtani pitching. So now you got, what everybody says, we're in both the same camp where, hey, I got to see it to believe it for a full year before I get on this hype train. But you got a guy like Ohtani going to lead it. They added some veterans to be on the back end of that bullpen. And then you just look at that lineup. I mean, Ohtani, Pujols, who's, if anybody's benefiting, it's old players like Pujols and Miguel Cabrera who've been able to rest. But you got Ohtani, Pujols, Rendon, your boy Justin Upton, who's probably like 27 years old.
That's the crazy part. I think he's only 31.
Like 32.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember we looked it up a couple of years ago when
and
we
you
were
got Trout.
around. Yeah, but I loved it the other. Just real quick sidebar with Justin Upton. We looked him up a few years ago. This is before the players started making debuts at like 19, 20 years old, and we were like, "How old is Justin Upton?" I'll never forget. Like
Upton is younger than me. Justin Upton is 32 years old.
No, but I'll never forget the conversation we were having where we were like, "How old?" Like Justin Upton's got to be 30, and we look it up, and he's like 25. And we're like, "Wait, he's been in the league for like 13 years." Like, and it's just so funny. Now you see it more because players obviously come up a little bit younger. But I'll never forget the conversation between us where we're like, he's still 25. Like
he missed a bunch of time last year. He was banged up a little bit last year. But I mean, overall, I mean, 32 years old, he could probably play another 5-6. I mean, we're looking at 298 home runs, almost 1,000 RBIs, 266 career hitter, 1,700 hits. And an all-star.
Justin Upton,
5 times, Silver Slugger 3 times.
He's been a very good player. I wouldn't put him as a superstar, but he's that notch below where he's been a really good player.
Justin Upton, because he's been clean, you assume he's been clean because you just follow that. If he can get to, in the next 7 years, get to 450 home runs, possibly 2,500 hits, get that average to at least 270. Is he a Hall of Famer?
He's going to be in the discussion. That's a lot of home runs in this era.
Only had 100 RBIs twice. Has only hit 30 home runs 3 times. He had 29 one year.
Well, what's his average if you have it there? Games played per season, because I feel like he gets hurt though.
They don't have it. No, I mean, I don't see an average here for the games played. They always put it 162, but the average is 158 hits a year, 32 doubles, 28 home runs, 89 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, 70 walks. So his on-base percentage is nice at 350. OPS 822.
He's okay. So he's played 150 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Out of those 6 times,
2018, it's 145. So probably 7 times.
But at those 150 games, those 6 times he's made an all-star team 3 of those 6 times. So if he plays 150 games, he makes the all-star team half the time. Now, do with that what you want, but he's had a nice little career. I mean, especially he's gotten paid.
He's just a guy that like you just don't talk about, and you should talk about.
Right. Like he is a major league baseball player, and anyone that has 300 home runs, and he's going to go way past that. He's a good player, and he's hit some shots like where if he ever reached his full potential, like you're just like, dang, man, he's hitting balls like 480 feet. But so if you get a good Justin Upton, that Angels lineup is pretty good, man.
And you can skate by with not the best pitching in 60 games. You just you get hot and you just hit, and you go from there. So they're a team to look out, but obviously everything changes if Mike Trout decides not to play. So, the pressure is going to be coming from everywhere. Obviously, Lee wants him to play. The Angels want him to play. That's it. No one else wants him to play.
No, the league,
But-
the league doesn't want him to play. The league needs him to play, because even
Yeah.
though he's a low key type guy, and you could say there's guys like maybe Aaron Judge who are more of the face and they're more just more of a face of the sport. Mike Trout is undoubtedly the best player in baseball, and you need your best player to play. Like, if the NBA restart happens, like, you need LeBron James there, right? Like, you needed Michael Jordan there. You need Mike Trout there. He can't just not play. And if he does, what does that say to other players that are just like, if Mike Trout's not going to play, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Well,
It'll be
one thing I'll
tough,
say-
right? There's gonna be a lot of traveling when the season starts. If the Yankees start with the NL East, pretty much they will play. They'll play the Washington Nationals, then they'll go down to Philly, so they'll kind of stay in that little eastern, tri-state area. But it's gonna get tricky. I mean, you got Houston traveling to Seattle. That's some heavy business. You got other teams that are traveling. The Braves are going to New York to play, and we know the hotbed that Georgia is right now. You got Georgia, Texas, Arizona, Florida, and some of these other states. But,
isn't it funny how crazy a month changed? Like right now, the safest stadium to probably play in is probably Yankee Stadium. Like, New York is probably
Madison Square Garden.
That's
indoors.
No, like, honestly, like,
because they've managed it.
Yeah, well, not only they didn't really manage it. I mean, people have been dying left to right in New York, but the thing of herd immunity is, like, a lot of New Yorkers have had it, so it blocks it from spreading like it is in other states. They've gone through it, so it's probably one of the safer places to be, which is wild. The travel is going to be also a little crazy, and once one player gets it, I just don't know. I heard a rumor. I don't know if you read up on this, and Eric told me about this, and he's pretty spot on with his baseball stuff, that if teams start coming down with multiple cases, they will eliminate that team from competition.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. And if they do that, I mean, I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. I'm just saying it's crazy that your season could be ended by not the injury bug, but by a bug. And it just I just don't know how they get through this realistically. If they do, the only reason, besides being a fan, I will give the edge to the Yankees, and it's something you always said, and I always give you credit for it. It's hard to burn out a bullpen in 60 games. And the Yankees are deep enough that they can actually.
Joe Girardi probably would, but
yeah, he would try his hardest. But my point is that 60 games, you're pretty much still going to be fresh, right? Especially with the relievers the Yankees have.
Yeah.
So and this delay has helped James Paxton, who is going to miss 2 to 3 months, be ready. You got Aaron Judge, who's going to be ready. Giancarlo
Tanaka. I mean, anytime you don't have to put any load on Tanaka's elbow for.
Tanaka. The only thing that really hurts with this shortened season is now you lose Domingo Germán for the whole season, because he doesn't 63 games. There's only playing 60. It falls into 2021. Yep. So that's the only where you hurt. But you can bring up a kid maybe like Deivi Garcia, their phenom that they love so much.
They had a kid. Who's this kid? Chase something. I saw him on They were showing him on the Yes Network.
Yeah, they had Chase, and they were showing
mean little curveball.
Yeah, but Devi's supposed to be.
What's going on with Jordan Montgomery? Where's he?
He's supposed to be around. See, the thing is, it's so hard because everything got interrupted. Like, everything was so.
Listen, at the end of the day, Gerrit Cole, Masahiro Tanaka, James Paxton. You still have the kid. What's his name? Jay Happ.
Yeah.
And number 85 in the program, and number 1 in your heart.
Luis Cessa.
Luis Cessa will be the 5th starter for this team. Luis Cessa. I will trade a lot of things to have Luis Cessa's career.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would trade everything. Well, not everything, but I would trade a lot to be any major leaguer really that's been in the league for a few years. But I mean,
Luis Cessa.
he's been in the show. But I really truly think you're gonna. Look, it's 60-man rosters, man. I truly think, or I truly believe, I should say, you're gonna see Deivi Garcia at some point this season. And if he's as good as they said he is, but the worry is that he may not last as long. Like he's a Pedro Martinez build. The guy throws 97. Oh well, this is the year to use them. 60 games, rock and roll. Forget that Luis Cessa stuff, man. I don't need to see him no more. None. Zero. And look, when's the trade deadline? Because I know there's no All-Star game. Is there a trade deadline?
August 31st. August 31st.
Okay, so instead of July 31st, they moved it back a month, or was it always August 31st? No, it was July 31st, right? Yeah, it was July 31st because August 31st was always the call-ups in September.
Fun fact for Tom Sikarsky. Through their first 86 games in the major leagues, who had more saves? Is it Luis Cessa or Mariano Rivera? First 86 games.
Well, it's probably Cessa because Mariano was a starter.
It's Rivera had 7 saves. Cessa has 3 saves, but it was still.
Yeah, because I remember going to a game against the Indians where Mariano started, and I got his autograph. You know, before nobody knew who Mariano Rivera was. Nobody knew he was going to be the greatest.
Saying you never know. Luis Cessa could transition.
Nah, he's too old. Like you need them to hit that. You need them to find it by like their I would say their mid-20s. Like to really get like when Mariano found that cutter, it was good night. It was good night for the rest of baseball for a very long time.
How old do you think Luis Cessa is? We have another Justin Upton situation on us. Mariano Rivera, when he had 43 saves in 1997, excuse me, 43 saves, full-time starter, 97. He was 27 old. How old is Luis Cessa?
Probably 28.
27.
All right, but here's the thing. Mariano.
The stars are aligning for
Luis.
No. Get me an 85 jersey.
They're not for multitude of reasons. A, he's trash. B, in 96 is really as the setup man to Wetland when Mariano people started realizing who he was because he would pitch the 7th and the 8th, and then Wetland would come in and finish it off, and then he was a full-time starter in 97. But once he figured out that cutter, having catch by accident, that was it. If Luis Cessa could figure out and have a catch and find that cutter or a slider or a knuckleball, maybe, but that cutter is maybe the nastiest pitch in the history of baseball because people knew it was coming every time. Yeah. And couldn't hit it.
Who else do you like this season? I mean, we talked about it last time, but if they do get the 60 games, and assuming that, I mean, Houston still got to be in the mix.
I think Houston has a phenomenal chance, and the reason is because A, they still have a great lineup. B, I said it last time, they don't have to hear the boos. The stadiums are empty. So when they go to New York, there's no booing. There's nothing there. They're playing in an empty stadium. And I don't care what anybody says. When you don't have to hear that vitriol all the time on every stadium you go to, that helps. So I think that Houston absolutely has a good chance. And I think I really like, I don't know why, maybe I'm crazy, in the National League, I really, really like the Phillies. I like what they did. Picking up Didi, even though Zach Wheeler's not great. I know Aaron Nola's got the COVID now. But I like Joe Girardi there. He's won a championship. I like
now. I mean, David Price not playing. Okay, you still got Bueller, you still got Kershaw, you still got Ryu. Fine. You look at
Ryu's in Toronto.
That's right. Who's at that third that I'm thinking of? Either way, but now you're looking at that's a big bet that Atlanta's losing in Freddie Freeman. Still got Albies, you still got Swanson, you still got Acuna, you still got those guys, but I mean, you're missing a big, nice bat in Freeman. And not mistaken, he hits from the left side as well.
He absolutely hits from the left side. You lost him, and he's a great defensive first baseman. He's a leader. Okay, his numbers last year, if you look at them, were actually MVP worthy. Pull up his stats from last year. They were ridiculous. You lost Josh Donaldson. Okay. So you lost another power bat.
Where did he sign? Minnesota?
Minnesota. Yes. So you lost a bopper from the left and a bopper from the right.
Freddie Freeman, 295, 38 home runs, 121 RBIs, 113 runs scored, 176 hits.
It's a good year, man.
389 on base percentage, OPS 938.
That's
so 100 points higher than the career of Justin Upton. I mean, Freddie Freeman.
But I'm saying you lose that now. That from the left side, that's and a clubhouse guy that's been a Brave for life. That's a tough. And then you lose the King Felix. He's not playing.
So the Marlins out. Mets. I mean, not having Syndergaard is all going to be under DeGrom and Mets and
Mets. Yeah.
So it's the Nationals, the Phillies.
It's the Nationals.
And yeah, the Braves. I mean, the Braves. I mean, maybe able to compete, but again, Freeman, you're missing that bat. We'll see, but the Phillies and Nationals.
Has Freeman officially ruled himself out?
Yeah, no, he's out, and apparently he talked Nick Markakis out of it too.
I didn't know that. I knew he was considering it because he tested positive. I didn't know that he was like officially. Yeah, if the fact that he's officially out, he's dead. And I thought the Braves were the favorite to win the East.
Yeah,
but like you said, okay, maybe LA gets by. But what other team?
LA will be there. They're always going to be there. I mean, you got Bueller, and I mean, Bueller's the one now.
Yeah,
Bueller's the one. And Kershaw's a nice 2, especially in a 60-game format. It just.
How do you feel about Arizona? You feel?
I mean, now you got Bumgarner. Bumgarner hasn't pitched in 2 years.
A year and a half, yeah.
So he had those injuries. If anybody can use the rest, he can. You still got Robbie Ray.
Just get Bumgarner to October, though, baby. You get Bumgarner.
November now, but yeah.
You get him to the playoffs. Bumgarner's going to show out.
Yeah, I mean, they have a decent lineup. I think that they'll make some moves, but
I just think the 60 games is the great equalizer. You lose, you go 3-7 in the first 10. Usually that doesn't matter. It happens now. It matters.
Yeah.
Oh
no, I mean, we'll know by 25 games. We'll know who's
absolutely.
Who's
and me and you have always said every game matters, right?
This is assuming no one tests positive during the season.
Yeah,
you can go up there 17-8 to start off, and next thing you know, Aaron Judge and Gary Sanchez go down with it. Then what do you got?
Forget that. Garrett Cole and Tanaka. Then what? They're your top 2 starters. Forget the lineup, the actual starters.
Well, then it comes down to
managing and hitting.
No. We're on camera. It comes down. This is what it comes down to.
Stop. It comes
down. Got the pinstripes on the notebook.
But look,
you got the 85. Right. It comes down to Sessa.
But it also comes down to young prospects, right? Like Estevan Florial is going to be on the roster. They're going to have guys like what's his name? The Chase kid you're talking about. They're going to have what's his name? The phenom Devi Garcia, allegedly. So, I mean, there's guys there. How do you mix and match? Can you?
Where is Clint Frazier?
Bro,
don't even talk about him. Where is Clint Frazier?
Must have murdered someone's wife because they hate him so much.
Clark Schmidt is the kid's name. Clark Schmidt is
okay. Clark and Chase together are great, but here's the thing: and I think Clint Frazier could be a really, really good major leaguer. Every time he's gotten the opportunity, he hits. Yeah, he's a little bit of a klutz in the outfield, but he rakes. And they still play Mike Tauchman over him. They love themselves some Mike Tauchman. Mike Tauchman is their Luis Sessa in the outfield.
Commenting on the Yes Network's Instagram page. Where is Clint Frazier? All in capitals. Where is Clint Frazier?
Bro, not only did they ruin his career possibly, which is sad.
His trade piece.
They ruined any value he actually had. And it's a shame because when he got in there, he would hit. And even you texted me one day, you said, you even texted me because you were like, and then you were like, you're right. He's actually one of those players that once he gets to the show, like he rakes. And look, was he Tony Gwynn? No, but he used to hit, like you said, missiles.
Yeah. I mean, his his exit velo is just up there with. I mean, with Stanton and Judge. I mean, can we see these guys really do some damage? Can we see this? It's 2, 3, 4. I think they're going to bat Torres third. If I saw correctly, it'll be Judge, then
Probably.
Torres, and then Stanton,
I don't
and
know.
then Sanchez.
It also helps with Hicks. I forgot about Hicks because Hicks had the Tommy John surgery, so he'll be back at some point.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot. I don't know, but they I don't know why they love Mike Talkman. I don't get it. He's a lefty.
Voigt.
I mean, but you need a first baseman. But what? Mike Talkman? What?
Who's playing third?
There's going to be either Urshela or Andar.
Urshela.
And Duhar, what in pre-COVID in spring training, and Duhar was hitting.
Forget pre-COVID. In 2018, he was the rookie of the year.
He should have been, yes.
And then LeMahieu will play second.
LeMahieu will play second. Torres will play shortstop. And you know what's crazy? Based on last year's numbers,
who's backup catcher?
Backup catcher is going to be the Kyle Higashioka.
Yikes!
Yeah, very not good. They were trying to get what's his name? The kid that caught Garrett Cole in Houston. What was his name? With an M.
Maldonado.
Yes, but that never happened. But I'll tell you one thing about the shortstops. We always talk about Lindor. We talk about Correa. We talk about all the Baez. Numbers wise, if you look at shortstops, the best shortstop in baseball, if you're basing it on last year's numbers, is Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, like 40 home runs.
Hit 38 home runs. He got big hits in the playoffs, and Correa, done with him. Even though I love Correa, he's always hurt. He bats seventh now. Lindor is also a stud, and Baez is a stud.
Where are they all from? All three of them?
Yeah, they're from Puerto Rico. The island makes shortstops. They're from America, essentially, because they can vote. Okay, so, but
problem is we don't got any pitchers. It'd be Javier Vasquez and
the kid from the Mets,
Edwin Diaz.
Yeah, Seth Lugo.
Yeah. Seth Lugo, Edwin Diaz.
That's always my argument
about Javier Vasquez.
That's always my argument about America. America might not have the best shortstops. America might not have the best second baseman, but America has the pitching. You need the best pitchers in baseball. There's country white boys.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. I mean, basketball, I still can't get over what's happening in basketball. Do you see what's on Twitter and social media these days with the meal plans that they were giving out to these guys? They were delivering the meals to players. Look like airline food. Like it was like a little small salad, a little coffee cup of pasta. I'm like, there's no way LeBron.
What is that supposed
Harden and these?
Oh no, but what is that supposed to do?
What's the bubble? You got to control where your food comes from. They got to.
But then how is the rest? How am I still alive? How is the rest of the world still living on delivery? How's McDonald's all over the country still open? They can still eat. Even if you go,
I don't want those delivery boys coming into the bubble, man.
All right, so then get somebody that doesn't matter. Get a guy that you don't really care about. And I know it sounds messed up. Get somebody you don't really care about.
Something happening to him. It's what he's bringing back to the bubble.
So bring back food that they can cook. Have them wipe it down with some Clorox, like I've done, like you've done, like everybody's done, and just have them cook their own meals, because the little airline food for 280-pound, 6'8" LeBron, who's used to eating at Smith & Wolinski's, that ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah. There's just too much body contact. There's just too much body contact in basketball. I mean, I get it.
It's not
in the bubble. You got guys that everybody's going to live there. It's there, but it's
not going to work.
See. I mean, you hope it does.
It's not. It might start, but it's already July. It's getting late fast. It's like players are opting out.
The Ivy League, I think, canceled all their fall sports.
Yeah,
Fordham canceled their first 3 football games of the year.
Morehouse canceled their football program. Not that these are heavy hitters.
Texas canceled the state fair, which is at the Cotton Bowl site where you get.
Is that a big deal?
Texas and Oklahoma. The state fair is big. It gets about.
I don't know.
People
wow.
Go to the state fair.
Yeah. See, this is a big thing.
The game hopefully is still going to go on, but.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This is a very big question mark. And basketball, like you said, football still has a little time to try and figure it out, and they're not idiots like baseball, because baseball had a lot of time to figure it out and they were just all jerks. But basketball, it's going to be tough for me to understand who opted out for family reasons in basketball. It was
Avery Bradley, and
No,
they
what?
replaced him with what's his name?
No, it
Then
was
it
a
was
J.R. Smith, but someone else just said I'm not playing because I don't want to risk my family's health. It
it
was
Trevor Ariza or something, or
Trevor Ariza, and he's not even a superstar, but like the things like that, like I'm not. He's like I'm not doing the restart. This is just silly to me, I'm not even getting
and now they're
involved.
trying to do a restart for the teams that didn't make the bubble. Why?
Yeah, I don't know that the NBA. I get they're trying. Look, you want to maximize revenue, but there's a lot of players that are starting to opt out. And if you're on a team, realistically, and you got money in the bank, which a lot of these guys do, and you're not really going to win, what are we doing here? Like, if you personally, right, you have a job, your job tells you can take the year off and you have millions in the bank, and then you could keep Rachel and your baby safe. Why am I going to work? Unless it's for like you're like for glory, for a title, and you're an athlete and you're competitive. Besides that, why?
Yep.
You're a fringe team. Why would I do that? These guys have money that we can't dream of. So I've told me, if I could stay home, staying home.
We covered that. Last thing I want to ask you, just a little fun question, and then we're going to get going. We'll be back next Wednesday. Now that we've got ink to paper, 10 years, $503 million for Pat Mahomes, where does Dak Prescott end up? And I know we're not talking about what's he worth, but it just plays this game of, obviously he's not going to get anywhere near $300 or $400 or $500 million. But do you see him signing a 6-year, $200 million contract?
Yeah, Dak's going to get paid because the market's been reset. He's not going to, obviously. I know how it usually goes in steps, how like the next guy usually gets more.
Yeah, no one is topping this one.
Not this one, and not anytime soon. Maybe there'd be a phenom that comes along, but not anytime soon. So you have Dak. He's going to get paid, right? He signed the franchise tender, or I believe he is going to sign the franchise tender. If he balls out and the Cowboys make the playoffs, he's going to make money. Now, I got in a big Twitter argument about how they were saying how Jamal Adams, Cowboys did not want to trade Michael Gallup for Jamal Adams, because that was the rumor that the Jets and the Cowboys, that Jamal Adams put the Cowboys on one of his teams. And I'm arguing with them like, bro, like Jamal Adams is one of the best at his position. He is a top 5 safety. Michael Gallup isn't even the
best receiver on the team.
Right. So you're talking about a 2-time Pro Bowler, first 1-time All Pro in his first 3 years, for Michael Gallup, who I know you guys like. They're like, oh well, he turns our offense into a transcendent. Right? No, the argument is not whether or not he's a good player.
No, but you got it. You know what? You want something, you got to give something.
So I said, you're telling me that Michael Gallup is a better football player than Jamal Adams. If that's the case, then why didn't the Cowboys make playoffs last year? And everybody replied to me, the defense. I said, well then,
you'd want to get a guy that's a
I don't understand Twitter, because they double talk, and I'm saying I don't know if you know Jamal Adams is a safety. That's
who
defense.
Plays defense.
And it was just the craziest conversation. And then they tell me Zeke needs to be traded, and this needs to be Dak's team. And I said, wait a minute, Dak had his best career year last year. You don't make the playoffs. Both times Zeke led the league in rushing. Both times they made the playoffs. Do we not see how this works? And they're like, no, Dak, man, Dak. And I'm just like, are Cowboys fans crazy?
They are, man. I
like,
see him in Texas all the time. They're
It's not even that Dak is bad. It's just they win when Zeke runs the rock and they play defense.
That's most teams except for Kansas City.
But I'm saying, but Dak aired it out a lot last year, right? He had 4,900 yards, essentially 5,000 yards.
I mean, just look. I mean, you can also just look at the Super Bowl, right? Who made Super Bowl from the NFC?
Super Bowl from the NFC was what you call it. Was San Francisco.
And what'd they do?
Ran the rock. Play defense. That's what
play defense.
I forgot who it might have been Rex Ryan. It might have been another old school coach. They said,
and they had the lead in the fourth quarter, running the ball and playing defense.
There have been numerous coaches that have said, if you could pick up first downs by running the ball every time, you would never throw.
Yeah.
So it's safer. So like this whole idea that Dak, when he aired out 5,000 yards, what did Dak do against the Eagles in week 16, which was a make or break? Oh, they scored 9 points. That's what Dak did. So stop. My whole thing, and I'm going back and forth like, all right, forget it. Keep Michael Gallup. We'll keep Jamal Adams. I'm just saying the trade is not lopsided one way or another. The Jets could use Michael Gallup. The Cowboys could use Jamal Adams, but they were like, oh, no, Michael Gallup makes this offense transcendent. What? He's not Randy Moss.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even. Yeah, they're gonna go with the kid they got out of CD Lamb, and it'll be Cooper, and then it'll be the young tight end that they got.
Yeah, and if Zeke gets hurt, none of that matters.
Yeah. And then it's almost like the Patriots, right? Is it Tom or is it Bill? Now we're gonna see was it really Jason Garrett's fault? Or was Dak Prescott the guy that could lead this team? Because it was Jason Garrett. Okay, well, he's out now.
Yep. No, you're right.
He's the offensive coordinator of the New York Football Giants.
Look,
who, you know what? Give me Daniel Jones to win this division.
Hey, maybe. And if he does, then hey, kudos to him. And I'll tell you what, then obviously it wasn't Jason Garrett, you know. And the thing also is I've watched Jamal Adams play. Jamal Adams can play football. So if you need a safety.
No, and I mean, is he from Texas?
I don't know where he went to LSU. I'm not sure where he went to high school. I know he's a Southern boy, but the point is, I mean, you're getting a top flight safety.
No, you're going to a play. Yeah, he's from Texas. Yeah. So you're getting a guy that's motivated going into a somewhat winning situation.
Yeah,
he's probably going to play even better.
Yeah. He's from his home. It's from his home state. He probably grew up a Cowboys fan. He's one of the top 5 safeties in the NFL. He's a Pro Bowler. He's an all-pro. You need help on defense, but Michael Gallup is more valuable. Gotcha.
Louisville is a city in Denton County. It is a suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
So he definitely grew up a Cowboys fan. He's going to show out. He's going to have like 300 tackles. Please, man, I watch him play.
He's not worth Michael Gallup.
This is the guy that said he would die on the football field because that's how much he loves football. Like the Jets don't even deserve him, really, to be honest. They don't, because they won't even pay him. Whatever. I'm done.
Yep. All right, kids. We'll be back. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday. More updates as we get ready for Major League Baseball and a little bit of basketball, and we'll see. Dak gets a deal done, or maybe you can go the Kirk Cousins route, play on some franchises, and then get a fully guaranteed contract.
Absolutely, get paid.
All right, everybody, take care.
Take care, everybody. Wear your masks.
Yes.